Hey. How are we? How are we all doing? So today I wanted to talk about happiness. Happiness is the gift that I possess. I thank the Lord that I caress. So much happiness. I think they were the words, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, happiness. It seems to be fleeting for a lot of people, doesn't it? It seems to be something that comes and goes and doesn't really seem to stick around for very long. And it seems to be fleeting, I think, a lot of the time because a lot of people are too busy searching for happiness, looking out there, looking externally, looking at things, looking at objects, looking at desires, looking at purchases that can be made or things that they can bring into their life to bring happiness. However, happiness doesn't come from the external. Happiness can't be bought. It can't be achieved externally, and happiness is something that we need to find within. Happiness comes from within. Happiness comes from our soul. Happiness comes from deep within ourselves, deep within the recesses of our subconscious, our mind, our heart, our spirit. It comes from many aspects of us from within. Sadly, the world has geared most people to believe that happiness can only be achieved by searching, by looking, by buying, mass consumerism, by going on holiday, by eating this or drinking that or smoking this or doing things, or certain things you can do which will bring a level of contentment from within, and things that will help to achieve a level of happiness. So I thought we'd talk about that today. I think it might be quite an interesting chat to have. And looking at my own life and looking back into the past of where I've been, what I've done, the various roles that I've played within this physical world, and the various jobs that I have had, the different people that I've met, and sometimes the positive and negative interactions that I have had with people over that time have all had a resulting effect on me, on my welfare, on my mind, body and spirit. And it's brought me to a point now where I no longer allow or try not to allow people or negativity to bring me down, because if you allow that to happen, then you're giving it the power that it needs to create more negativity. So it took me a long time to discover this awareness that's within each and every one of us, this connected energy that we all have between us. And it took me a long time to discover that from going through various stages of mental illness and mental health problems, and finding a path of inner discovery, inner enlightenment. And it's really interesting when you get to a point and you start to look at the world in a totally different way, and you look at the world through the eyes of somebody that's, I suppose, that's kind of aware of things and can feel things and just, I suppose, senses things to a certain degree, and many of us do, all of us do really. But so many of us have become desensitized to happiness because of the way the world is kind of geared. The world is geared to or tries to make us feel that we're not worthy because we haven't got this, and we're not worthy because we haven't got that, and we need to live this life to achieve this, and we need to live that life to get that. And it's all about labeling, and it's all about this external thing, this constantly seeking, constantly searching the external for a resulting feeling of happiness. And each time we get to that point, and I've been there and still do occasionally, I suppose, where I think, oh, that'd be really nice to get, or whatever, but it never brings any happiness. It brings maybe a fleeting glimpse of something, but it's not an actual happiness, because it's not lasting, it's fleeting. And it's trying to discover that is within us, that is not fleeting, that is forever, that is always there. And if we are looking for happiness and we can't find it, then there is so many different elements within us that require discovery, that require contemplation, that require healing, and that require exposure. And a lot of happiness is usually hidden behind ego, and also behind a lot of our shadow as well. A lot of our shadow can hide a lot of happiness from ourselves, because again, the ego plays a great role in in letting us believe and letting us think that this will make you happy, that will make you happy, being with that person will make you happy, being in this situation will make you happy, buying that will make you happy. But fundamentally, that happiness energy, we're all happy. We're all fundamentally, our energy is always of a higher vibration. It's always of love. It's always of this joyful energy, and the energy of love, the frequency of love. There is nothing higher than that. And it's, again, that's almost like a mission of seeking, isn't it? It's trying to seek that level of vibration, that level of frequency, and it's not an actual act of seeking, of looking for it. It's just being it. And you're probably thinking, well, it's all right you're saying that, but you know, I've been in this situation, and I've been in that situation, and I've not been happy for years, and I can't find it, and I can't create it, and I've tried doing this, and I've tried manifesting happiness, and I've tried doing all these different things to just make me feel happy, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't come about. And again, it's because there is so much ego at play there, because again, the ego is constantly searching. The ego is constantly looking for something to bring this happiness to you. But the happiness is already there. It's creating a level of awareness within yourself. And the more we work on ourselves, the more we meditate, the more we do healing, the more we, you know, healing is about every aspect of life. It's not just about sitting in meditation for hours or receiving energy healing. It's also about getting outdoors. It's also about going into nature. It's also about connecting to yourself, doing exercise, eating the right foods, because it's fundamentally it's all energy. So whatever we feed ourselves, if we're constantly eating crap, then you probably won't feel very happy, because you're not giving your body the right nutrients that it needs to function properly. If you're not feeding it the right environments the right workplace, the right people that you are around, you're not going to feel happy because they're also emitting a vibration. So we need to come to the understanding that happiness is an energy, and because everything is energy. And when we start to realize what this is and where it comes from and how it can be felt, so we need to kind of feel and achieve a little level of it to think, right, that's how I want to feel. And I've kind of got there a little bit with that, but I now want to bring that within my life to be able to try and keep on that level of happiness, that level of vibration that I felt in that instant. And again, I'm not talking about looking externally for things. However, some of the externals that we can do is by being with people that do help us feel uplifted, being with people that do bring a level of comfort into your life, being in places and situations where you don't feel on edge, you don't feel uneasy, you feel at peace with yourself. Because when you're at peace with yourself, ultimately you can harness that energy within, and the more peace that you bring within yourself, the happiness will flow, the happier you will be, because peace and happiness come hand in hand. So basically, you want to find peace. Once you find peace, happiness will follow, and that peace again is a journey. Finding that peace is a journey. It's a journey of self-discovery. So if you're in a place where you've been unhappy for many years, as I was, trying to discover myself, discover who I was. So speaking from experience, it's taken me probably 20 years to get to a point of feeling content, of feeling at peace, being at peace with myself, being at peace with who I am, being at peace with my life, how I live my life, and the people that I allow into my life as well. Because when you achieve a level of peace and a level of enlightenment within yourself, and you found a level of happiness, and you want to maintain that, and yes, it's going to go up and down a little bit, it always will, but once you've achieved that level, you don't want it to drop, because you've found a frequency that you would like to be in. You found a frequency that is called the flow. You found your connection. You've found your connection to source. You found your connection to your soul, and that is a beautiful place to be when you find that. So when you discover peace and you bring that within your life, you become very much more you become very much more protective of your own energy. You become very much more protective of the energy of those around you as well, because the energy of those around you will ultimately affect your energy, especially if they're in a close relationship with you. So if, partners, friends, loved ones, family, whatever they may be going through, if they're quite unbalanced, if the family life is quite turbulent, if there's a lot of trauma going on within the life, there's been lots of things that's been going on individually with people in the family unit, or maybe they just don't get on and there's just constant fighting, then you're never going to find peace. And sometimes, as difficult as it is, it's about taking you away from those situations and taking you out of that environment. Sometimes, and that can be difficult, I know. It can be difficult for a lot of people to say goodbye to ways that people have lived and being around with people for for so many years that have unknowingly affected their energy or your energy. But over time, when you start to you start to want to look for these things, start to want to look deeper into you, into who you are, into your life, into what makes you the way you are, into how to connect to your soul, to your essence, to feel that vibration, to allow you to feel better from within. And when you feel better from within, when your energy is of a good vibration, that moves out. It affects every part of your body, your mind, body and spirit. It really does. And it takes a lot. Again, the ego has a huge part to play in this. It takes a lot for someone to say that, well, these people have been like really pulling me down, making me feel like this, they've called me this, they've belittled that, but I like hanging around them because they're a good laugh, or because they do this, or because they do that. And again, it's reaching externally for something that might bring you an element of joy, of connectedness with people. And going from my experience, when I was younger and going out and started smoking and tried to be part of a clique, tried to be part of a crowd, but wasn't really quite fitting in, and I was just kind of like doing it because it felt like the right thing to do, but I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't feel like that was where I should be. It didn't feel right. But again, so many people are conditioned and programmed that is what you need to do. You get to 18, you go out, you start drinking, you go get a bit leery, you go a bit crazy. And some people will continue that for many, many years after. And some people will kind of step away from it because they realize, well, it's not really serving me anything. I don't really feel very good after it. And I'm starting to lose a connection with who I am. I'm starting to lose that connection with myself. And it's that searching for yourself that you start to question things within your life. And that is kind of on the cusp of moving into spiritual awakening territory, because when you start to question everything, you're looking at everything within your life and you're wanting to increase your peace, increase your happiness, increase your flow, increase your zen, then you need to bring other things, other aspects, other ways of being into your life to kind of, if you think of your life on sort of two, like almost like a graph, like a bar graph. So up here, it's your social life's up here, but your you time is like kind of like your peace, your zen, where it is down here. It's kind of like non-existent. It's about bringing that balance, and it's about trying to find an even keel between the two. And if you can, it's not about removing the social part altogether, because we're social creatures, we're social animals. We need that connection with other people, but it's about having the right connection with the right people around us. And when you start tuning more into that and wanting to find your peace, find your harmony, find your happiness, you will find that you may not need to make the decisions for these people to move away. The universe will move them away for you, because you've reached a new level of vibration which doesn't fit them. And then you start to bring other elements of people within your life that are a little bit more awakened. They're a little bit more in tune with the spiritual side of things. They may be a little bit more in tune with wanting to discover a deeper awareness, a deeper happiness, a sense of peace within their life, but they're still not quite sure how to get it. But you've brought them into your life, so then you can start harnessing what they're learning, and you can give them information of what you've discovered and what you've found, and you start creating a new connection, a new vibration, and you will start moving through into a flow. And sometimes some of those people may fall away and other people may come in. But again, ultimately, it's about having the right network around you. And a lot of people talk about finding a tribe and all this sort of stuff, and I don't really think it's about actually finding a tribe, because again, that's like an external thing. It's nice to have those people that you can connect to and communicate with and get in touch with about certain things that you want to learn about or find out about within yourself. But ultimately, it's about you, and what I found with especially with my spiritual awakening, I had a lot of alone time. I was on my own for years, and never really had a connection with a lot of people apart from people that I worked with, and that was kind of it. Maybe the odd friend that I kept in touch with, but there was a lot of alone time and a lot of me just trying to figure me out, figure myself out, trying to figure out what was going on in my head, and where I can find this happiness. And all along, it was within me, all along. So it's about trying to find that connection with you, with yourself, with that connection of soul that's deep within you. So again, learning on how to quieten the mind is a really, really great way of connecting to that. And there are so many different things you can do. It's not just about meditating. A guy on here that I follow and chat to, and I've done a video with him, Brian Jones, he does rock balancing, balancing stones. That's his way of quieting the mind and being mindful and putting his focus into that. But you don't need to do that. You can be creative. You can go out into nature. You can go walking. It's just about discovering different things that work for you. So for me, meditation works really, really well. For me, walking in nature, going to the coast works really, really well for me. Sitting with crystals, looking into a candle, focusing on my breath, and really being kind of really zen with it, and just following the flow of my intuitive inner feelings, inner callings, inner messages, is kind of how I work within me, and it'll be totally different for you. Everyone's got a different way of finding that. But this is kind of like just a few stepping stones for people that are looking for some level of happiness. They want to bring happiness into their life. So ultimately, you need to find the peace. You need to find peace within your mind, within your body, within your soul. And once you find peace and you find that level, that vibration of peace, other things will come towards you. Other higher vibrational things will come towards you. Happiness will come towards you. Self-love will come towards you, and you will feel flourished. You will feel empowered. You will feel strong, and you will feel that you don't need external things anymore, because that happiness is constantly within you. But when you do receive external things, it's almost like it's a real deep sense of gratitude and love when you do receive external things as gifts, or when you buy things. It's a great sense of gratitude and love for that. And it's not about like kind of skipping around the room and I'm so thankful, I'm so grateful and all that. It's nothing about that. It's what you feel in here. You feel a much deeper, connected, centered, loving, happy feeling within yourself when you receive something like that. But again, that's a fine line, because you think, if I feel like that, if I start buying more things, so that's the trap. That's a little bit of a trap. So you have to just be mindful of that and be careful with that, and just tune back into yourself again and find that level of peace, that level of awareness that is always there. It always resides there. It is within each and every one of us. And the more peace and the more happiness we can find within each other, the more we can affect everybody else, because happiness, peace and love affects everybody, affects the collective. So there's a few thoughts for today. I hope it helps. I hope it means something, and I hope somebody gets something from some of my words today. Speaking from a little bit of experience, but also speaking from just what I've kind of encountered and felt along the way with regards to finding peace and finding happiness. So have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. But I hope you enjoyed. Much love to you all. Take care of yourselves, and namaste. Bye for now.